Start the clock. Hello, everybody, and thank you. Boy, it's bright and I can't see any of you. In advance, I'm going to sort of apologize because I'm going to talk about life and death in our industry. And when I do it, I think about the countless people that I have lost. So please forgive me. As she said, my name is Mickey Bakst. I'm the founder of Ben's Friends. Let us start. Sustainability is a mantra that we in this industry use daily. How the animals we eat are fed. How are the vegetables grown? How is the fish caught? We talk about it incessantly. But what we don't talk about is the sustainability of our people. The people who make our restaurants work. And we don't talk about, the alcohol and drug abuse that ravishes the profession that we all love. I'm going to tell you my story. I bought my first restaurant with money I made selling drugs. It's a fact. And it was in that restaurant that I learned two things. Number one, I loved hospitality, and I loved making people feel good. And as Bob Dylan said, number two, I found a shelter from the storm, a place where my addiction was not only accepted, but condoned. Alcohol and the associated behaviors with it unconditionally were approved in the world that I lived. I had never aspired to own a restaurant. I was a beach bum who sold drugs, living in California, going to a restaurant every night and becoming friends with the owner. Why am I so nervous? Everybody's done a great job. I became close friends with this guy for two reasons. We loved two of our dearest friends equally, and they were cocaine and partying. And we did a great job with both. One night he asked me to become the doorman to check IDs. And I said, sure. And it was that night that my life changed because I found my true passion, and that was making people happy, standing in the front of a restaurant. I stood at the door, I laughed, I joked, I kissed, I hugged, and it was magic, true magic to me. The same magic that I felt for the next 48 years. Every night, as a maitre d', I was able to create experiences, birthdays, anniversaries, graduations, and then most importantly, creating magic for people who saved all year for that one fine dining experience, my personal favorite. There was no greater feeling. I hate reading speeches, so forgive me. There was no greater feeling for me. There was no greater feeling for me than when I walked through a room, felt the air against my cheek, reached my hand out to welcome a guest. No greater feeling except the ones I got from my alcohol and drugs. And soon they were more important than anyone or anything. I will leave out the gritty details of my next years. Suffice it to say, they became uglier and uglier as alcohol and drugs stole my soul. I stole from my partner. I stole from my employees. I stole from my friends. And eventually I ended up laying in bed, unable to get out and to even feed myself. Until one day I was found in a hotel room and I was rushed to a hospital where I almost died. And I remember after 8 or 9 days in that hospital, the doctor said to me, "We have done everything we can for you. If you drink or drug again, you will die." And ladies and gentlemen, it scared the shit out of me. And then for 3 weeks. And 3 weeks later, I woke up in a psychiatric unit in a straitjacket, and that was the beginning of my road to sobriety. When I got sober, the only game in town was AA, and I hated it. I hated it for a couple of reasons. Number one, I was 30 years old and everybody looked like me, old white men. It was not a pleasant place to be. Number two, they told me if I wanted to get sober, I needed to get out of the restaurant industry, and I was unwilling to do that. And number three, they told me to stay sober, I had to get on my knees and pray to God. And that is just not my thing. But eventually, I had to make it work. And on December 14th, 1982, I got sober. And AA eventually saved my life. I'm getting warmed up. I have one thing I want to say as the co-founder of Ben's Friends. I love AA. Our co-founder, Steve Palmer, a restaurateur in Charleston, loves AA. It just doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't feel right when you're working nights on a line in that stress, walking into the room where people do not look like you and do not sound like you. And that's why Ben's Friends was created. We wanted to create a community that welcomed F&B employees and made them feel like they were with their own. Not only do we share the addiction, we share the passion for the industry that we are part of. Steve and I met every Sunday or Saturday and had breakfast, and every week we talked about another employee who had lost their lives, ruined their career. And every week we said we didn't know what to do because we were too busy. Finally, Ben Murray happened. Ben was a chef working for Steve, helping him open up a restaurant. Ben was the fun guy in the room, kind, gregarious, warm. Nobody would have said Ben was depressed. Nobody would have known he was an addict.